welcome to the Young Money Podcast. My name is Diana Menezes.
And I'm Vince Galanco from wheninmanila.com. And yeah, this is the Young Money Podcast where we talk to the young at heart and the young about their
Mm,
career choices, about those amazing choices they made in life that got them to where they are. And a lot of times we like talking to people with unique jobs you don't usually learn in school, especially the job
mm.
today where, well, I don't know today with the youth today, but when I was younger, whenever I'd play games, my parents would scold me for playing too much because it's a waste of time.
Mm.
But now you earn so much from playing games. So
I
much.
know. I can see that. And I want to learn about that.
You
I
I
can't
can't,
wait.
man, I cannot even
Man,
fathom how
but I
these.
love it.
Yes, exactly. Because
Diba?
it's a passion of some people, and actually there are studies that show that gaming is actually good because it keeps your mind active.
Your
It gets
brain's
you
working while you're playing. Yeah.
at the same time. It's actually, in a way, it's also a social thing where you get to interact with people. Might not be the
Yeah.
same exactly as going out to the bar or club with friends, but
Mm.
you are interacting with people. A lot of times it can be friends, but a lot of
Yeah.
times you're also just interacting with new people, which is kind of hard to do, especially with the pandemic. Or nowadays, it's just, other than school, it's kind of hard to meet people, school and work.
True, true, true. And I think like playing games, I think it's different from just like having a video call or a new normal that they call, because the games have been around for such a long time, and people, because of the pandemic, I think they just realized how big the industry is, because they really couldn't do social stuff, so now they're like, what, may ganun pala, parang everybody's like, wow, we can be millionaires in here.
Exactly. So
Literally.
So that's why I'm so excited for our guest today. Our guest is the co-founder and the CEO of Tier One Gaming. They are one of the, if not the biggest,
Mm.
gaming. I don't know exactly what to call it, but they sort of manage gamers amongst other
Uh-huh.
things. Uh, Including one of the biggest gamers here, who is his co-founder, Alodia.
Yeah.
But uh,
Yep.
but yeah, I'm very excited. Let's invite on Tryke Gutierrez, who is again
Mm.
the CEO and co-founder of Tier One Gaming. Very excited to have him on. Let's get him on here, Roxy.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Trike,
What's
thank
up?
you so
Hello.
much.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, I guess.
Yan, magandang araw.
I know you're super
Kamusta?
busy because I know gamers are playing every second of the day. So thank you for taking time out to join us today.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, hello, and thanks for having me again.
So Trike, maybe you could tell me, me, Diana, and the listeners a little bit more about yourself. What exactly you do? I gave a very brief intro, but maybe you could tell us a
hmm
little bit more.
Yeah, so hello, I'm Tryke Gutierrez, the CEO and co-founder of Tier One Entertainment. Currently, we have 120 people working in the company. We
What?
call ourselves, yeah, we call ourselves entertainment, an entertainment company in gaming and esports because before we just used to be a talent management, but currently we're also producing media properties. We also have an esports team, so there's not exactly a perfect label for it yet. So that's why we call it, gaming and esport, entertainment and gaming and esports. So basically, for Tier One, we're also operational in 5 countries right now. We are in
Wow.
Malaysia, Myanmar, Vietnam, and Japan. We're going into Indonesia soon. So yeah, I mean that's what I do, and that takes up most of my time.
I bet. Over 100 employees. Are those? Does that include the gamer talents or no? Or
No,
that's
not
just
even, not
not
even.
even.
Yeah, those are all just the back end
Wow.
people. Like for the talents, we have 1,000 right now.
I did not know
Wow.
it has
That's
grown that big.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So how did this
I'm
all come
loving it.
about? Can you give us a little backstory on this?
So for me, I personally started playing games since I was really young. But the passion really came to me when I started playing professional open and close parenthesis Dota 1 back in college. I was in the La Salle University during that time, and I was mostly playing, Dota 1 across computer cafes, like in multiple computer cafes across La Salle. So from there, I realized that this is something that I wanted to do for a long time, but I couldn't really play professionally because being a professional player back then was just being able to join a tournament in a mall once a year. That was it, right? But like
Mm,
today in 2021, there are multi-million dollars in prize pools. When you say you are a professional player, you're already working full time. You have a salary. You have a place that you're staying in, and you have a place called the boot camp, which a place
boot
where you
camp.
train in. But basically, yeah, I my career started out back in 2010, where I worked for a computer cafe company that did a lot of gaming events. From 2010 to 2011, I used to work for MSI Philippines, which I was a marketing officer for. And then from 2011 to 2016, I organized events for gaming. I started out in computer cafes, then eventually malls, then convention centers, and then the biggest event that we did actually with the Lodi already was at the Mall of Asia Arena called the Manila Major. So
Wow.
we had 18,000 people full, $3 million in prize pool. We booked 256 rooms in Sofitel. And basically from there, we just decided to create something else, which is what Tier 1 Entertainment is now today.
That
Amazing.
is really,
Amazing.
really
Good
cool.
job. Wow.
Yeah, congrats on all
So
that.
cool.
I did not know you guys are that big now.
It's so
Yeah,
amazing.
I mean, we're probably one of the few silver linings of the pandemic in terms of like industries, right? Like a lot of industries have really went through multiple challenges during the pandemic, but I think with gaming and streaming, this is one of the things that's really rising nowadays.
Right,
True.
right. Yeah, because everyone was stuck at home, both looking for new
Yeah.
careers and looking for new ways to entertain themselves.
Yup,
So,
yup.
so absolutely, yeah. I like that. The silver lining of pandemic, one of the few.
I love that. Yeah. Totoo
Good
yun.
to hear. Okay. Now how
Amazing.
about for if we have people here tuned in who are curious about gaming, who maybe loves games but never ever ever thought that they could ever make a career out of it. How does that work? Can you walk us through like how you earn from gaming?
There are multiple ways to earn as a gamer. I think for tier one, what they're trying to pave way for are two career paths. Actually, there are a lot, but let's just categorize it into two. The right one is called competitive gaming, which is you need to compete to become the best in the world. So we call the team Blacklist International, and actually our team right now is competing against the best teams in the world in Singapore. So they're fighting for an $800,000 prize pool for Mobile Legends. So that's the
Wow.
What?
professional space of gaming. And on the other hand, you have your entertainment space, your streaming, right? Like you can be just a casual player or anyone who just wants to stream games for a living. And basically, you just need to, have your own setup, play games, and stream it on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, or whatever streaming platform you want to put it out in.
Okay.
Oh my
Um
God, I'm learning.
so
Alam mo na
so
yan.
so let's say there's someone listening right now and they like
Mhm.
playing games. They play a game but they don't know how to start. What are the first steps if they want to be earn from it? Is it they have to invest into a setup? Would that be it?
I guess my advice to them is just to start googling things first. Like try to figure out what are the technical requirements that you need. What usually makes a successful streamer. And all of that. And then from there, after you really figure out all the technicalities, you really need to invest on a PC or a cell phone or anything that can really help you stream. And then from there, once you start doing it, you need to kind of like figure out if this is what you really like, because it's not as easy, right? Like I'm sure you guys are doing this podcast, like not you're just starting to do this podcast, right? Like probably this
Mhm,
year. Like
mhm.
talking versus doing a podcast is totally different thing. Just like with streaming, like even if you like playing games, when you
Yeah.
start streaming it becomes different because it's taking up some of your headspace in a way while you're gaming, and trying to focus on the chat while playing games at the same time and making sure that you are entertaining, that there is no dead air. That's quite an activity, to be honest. It takes up a lot of your energy, it takes up a lot of your brain power. So just really try to figure out if that's something that you really like before you really fully go into it, because it's not as easy as people think.
Right, right. Yeah, it isn't actually. I'm sure
Mhm.
Diana
Yeah.
can relate because I mean,
Yeah.
uh, with anything, with hosting, with podcasting,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
it's an extra effort. I like how you say
Yeah,
that it takes extra mind space.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love how you
So,
explained it.
but just to somewhat still give direction to our listeners, because that's what we kind of want to do. So let's say they do decide, like, I want to go into this. They have invested. Is that it? Once they invest into a camera, a PC, and they decide, okay, I'm willing to make the effort and do this. Is that it? Will tier one sign them now? I mean, what
No,
are
no.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so
Please walk us through that. Let's give
yeah.
concrete
Yeah,
steps.
how to
So
become a talent.
basically, if you start out, I mean, for what I can say is, basically this is still a very freelance based industry, right? Like you can be a streamer without signing up with Tier One Entertainment. However,
Mm.
probably the reason why they sign up with us is because opportunities really come when you get to work with a company like us that has multiple opportunities available for gamers, right? So how it goes is basically mostly you start out as a freelancer, and then if you really want to get into tier one or other agencies out there, there are multiple ways to go about it. You can, just inquire on their pages or go to their websites and sign up and all that. But for tier one specifically, we have actually created a framework for onboarding. So it starts with Amplify Academy, basically a free series of workshops that we provide to streamers who want to get into Amplify, which is our incubator program. So after going through all of those series of workshops, then they go through an onboarding process, and after that they go into the Amplify program. So the Amplify program currently has a pool of 800 plus or 900 plus streamers across multiple countries. And when you're there, that's when we have the right to give you multiple deals, whether with brands, with platforms, or other ways to earn basically. And then once you really get to the top, if you are really the best of the best, that's the people we call tier one talent. So there's only 24 tier one talents among the 800 plus Amplify partners.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay. Can you give me a little bit more info on how they can join, as how they qualify for an amplified talent? Is that just anyone, or is there certain criteria you got to qualify for that?
There is a
So,
certain criteria, but it's a bit subjective because it depends on the
mm,
game. Like we couldn't put a hard number on a certain following or whatnot, because like what if you're playing a game that's less popular than ML? I mean, with ML, like if you have 500,000 followers in ML, that's just regular. But if you're like
what?
playing a horror game or a more or a game that has a smaller community, then the metrics becomes different. So the
Mm.
point is, I guess, I think we have really capable talent managers and an acquisitions team that has the eye for talent and what is really what has the potential to succeed in this industry. So I just trust them and our onboarding process to really filter those out.
So
I
there's
have
no
a
hard
question.
requirements. Oh, sorry, Diana. Let me
There are no
follow up.
hard
Go, no,
requirements.
go, go
There
ahead.
are no hard requirements. There are no hard requirements.
So pretty much, if they're a
What?
gamer, if they have somewhat of a following or no following at all, just just apply.
When
You
you go
never know.
to Amplify Academy, you don't need a following. So yeah, you can
Okay.
just go there and just go through the workshops. But I believe if you're in Amplify, you need to be at least a minimum 10,000 followers.
Okay.
I'm not sure because it's gotten too big. I don't really know
Got it.
the micro of it anymore.
Got
That's
it. Got it.
amazing. That's
Go ahead,
amazing.
Diana.
Yeah, no, I think, yeah, I was gonna ask Lang, like, about what makes you so qualified. So if it's not the following, like, does it matter? Because like, syempre talent and management yun. So does it matter also, like, will you tell us and our listeners anything that pwede naman sila parang halimbawa, oh, dapat ganito kayo, dapat on time kayo, yung mga ganon,
Okay,
like all of those requirements
qualities.
that, yeah, the qualities that it takes for someone to be part of Amplified and actually make it big in your company
I think
as a talent.
the most important thing is really having the right values. I mean, professionalism,
Uh-huh.
punctuality, being able to have the right discourse. That's very important because at the end of the day, like there will be a lot of like positive criticisms and a lot of
Mm.
talks about how you can improve and what to improve and what are the things you still need to learn. That's why, like to us, what really matters the most is just having the right values and the importance of your why. I mean, why are you doing it? I mean, if it's just
Mm-hmm.
money,
No.
it's only going to
Yeah.
take you as far, right? Compared to
Yeah.
those who have better whys, I guess. So for us, what matters is number one, the why. Second is the values that you have in terms of work ethic, punctuality, professionalism. You know, that plus of course the drive to become the best at what you do, because you don't want
Mm-hmm.
to spend the resources or your time and other things to someone who just wants to be mediocre, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
our tagline is to be truly top tier, so of course we want
Yeah.
people who want to get there. So I think those are the initial things that we look for. And but yeah, I mean, no one can ever say that this is the perfect talent, right? Like,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
one can come in without any following and whatnot, and then they'll eventually surprise you that they become the next superstar. So we
Nice.
don't want to kind of like limit anyone in terms of like skills and whatnot. It's what really matters is your values and your drive, I guess.
Uh,
Nice. Mm.
so with Amplify, is Amplify, you call it Amplify Academy, right? Is
Yes,
it
yes.
sort of a training school as well? Do you guys have classes for the people who get to join and teach them things about the industry and how to improve on what they do? Is that how it
Yes,
is?
yes, yes. It's actually a
Nice.
set of workshops. Basically, there are classes about personal branding. Sometimes it's about the business of streaming and multiple other things. This is something that became about this year. Actually, some of the professors are even not Filipinos. Like, some of them are Malaysians from Tier One Malaysia. So basically, like, we've really created this curriculum for front end, or talents in gaming, because we just wanted them to go through a certain training before getting into the space, because it's so much easier for us to work with people who have a certain set of training already, right? I mean, like I
Mm.
said, this is a very freelance driven industry, and we came in here trying to institutionalize these freelancers to understand how to become an institution, right? So for us to get there, we needed to put a framework in terms of what are the things they need to have in order for them to be successful in this industry. So outside of your values and your initial things that I mentioned, of course you need some skill sets too.
Yeah.
So those are things you can acquire in Amplify Academy, and eventually if you become an Amplify talent, and you'll just have to learn it through experience.
Oh, okay. So,
Wow.
so there's a different level. There's Amplify Academy and then
Yeah.
Amplify Talent.
As
Yeah,
you
yeah,
mentioned, there's Amplify Academy where they go through the workshops and then they go through the Amplified program, right?
yes, yes, yes. And actually,
And
one interesting thing that we have right now is called the Gaming House. So the Gaming
oh,
House is more of like a PBB reality show aired in ABS-CBN, which we just produced like 3 months ago. So because we're receiving like 500 to 1,000 inquiries per month on from people who want to become streamers, what we
mm,
did was we wanted to be able to come up with a reality show that will then accept auditionees who wants to become the next Tier 1 talent. So we are close to our season finale now. It's actually happening this Sunday, but we're giving away a 500,000 peso contract to the winner. So most of them
wow,
really came from zero, and we're really excited to see who will come out as a winner out of the 1,000 plus auditionees of that reality show.
Where
ang
is this showing? Where can people
galing.
watch this?
In ABS-CBN.
Wow. That is awesome stuff, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
That is one project that we just started out this year, and there were a lot of challenges when we started it, because we are not technically a media property company yet. When we started it, we just hired people to be able to produce stuff, but overall, like, we're very happy with the output. I think the talents that came in became so much better than what they were when we started it. And yeah, I mean, overall, I'm just looking forward to see who the winner is.
So, how many people were
Nice.
invited into the house from the thousands of people who applied?
Only 10.
Only 10. Okay.
Yeah.
And can you give us an example of some of the
I want
challenges
to
they've
see
gone
that.
through?
That's so cool.
So the first challenge was about skills in games. The next
Mm.
challenge was about vlogging with Team Payaman. We had a challenge about streaming. We had a challenge about mental fortitude in terms of like bashers coming in and trying to rattle them out. There was a challenge about TikTok, because if you are a content creator in gaming, like, you need all those. You need to be 360. And then there was a challenge that was a photo shoot. We had a photo shoot.
Nice. That's
So those are, I
amazing.
mean, it seems like, so it's called the gaming house. It might seem like
The
it's
gaming
going to be
house.
all about gaming, but
Mm.
actually, when you enter into the streaming space, it's not just going to be about gaming. You need to be able to know how to tell stories, how to create content, how to present yourself online, and to be able to really capture the right stories around you. And I think those are the skills we're trying to equip them. And let's see how it goes.
What a
Wow.
great job you're doing. Amazing, amazing. I love that. Wow. The gaming house. I'm gonna check that out, Vince.
Yeah, it's our version of the PBB, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
Pinoy Big
yeah.
Brother. Okay.
Wow. But
It's
that's
a
Um.
bigger
it's
though.
like a PBB mixed with America's Next Top Model. That's
I
kind of
was
like a
gonna say
podcast.
that's bigger because that has a after effect of major profit for everyone that joined. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
just like let's just go there and do nothing and be famous. Hindi ganon eh. Like you're teaching people something and you're no you're creating because I think it's really important. No, nowadays we get a lot of people that all of a sudden they become famous and they're not prepared. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to deal with the public. They don't know how to deal with their audience, with the people that don't accept them. And then it becomes a really waste of time, with all the skills that they can actually put out there and inspire other people. But what you're doing is amazing. I'm very excited. Right? I love that. I only
yeah.
found out about this gaming house now. Well, that's amazing. I'm gonna check that out.
So,
Mhm.
Yeah,
Trey, you were
everything you
saying you
guys are
have
doing.
24 top tier one talents. I'm just curious. How many are from the different countries, or are all 24 from the Philippines? Or
Some are from other countries too. Basically, we have three from other countries. One is from Malaysia, one is from Vietnam, and the other one is based in England, but is going to be launched in Japan. So that's those are the three international talents. Actually, you have two more. Sorry, I forgot the two Myanmar streamers. But the rest are Filipino. You have Team Payaman, Kong TV, Juniboy, Alodia, of course. You have Ashley Goshing Fiao, Bianca Yao, Ariel Garcia, Regine De Los Reyes, Ghost Wrecker. I mean, people might not have heard of them in the mainstream space, but in the gaming space, they are really the most popular ones.
and that's the thing with gaming is they build their own communities,
Yeah,
so they have their own little niche communities. So yeah,
I
yeah,
love
maybe
it.
in the mainstream they might not have heard of them, but the people in their community, they are the biggest thing.
Yeah. But the most popular person, I think, outside of Alode is really Kong. I mean, Kong has 8 million subscribers on YouTube. So
Oh my god.
Yeah.
that's quite a following.
Well, I'm glad you
Oh,
brought that up. So that's a great question. What are the best?
amazing.
I know it's best to be everywhere, to have a TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, etc. But as far as gaming, if there was a new gamer starting, what do you
Hmm.
recommend? Where do they stream? Or do they stream on multiple platforms? Or yeah, what do
I
you
highly
recommend for that?
suggest that you stream on Facebook because most gamers are in Facebook right now. And then I think I also would recommend to just start with a game, with one game. Because sometimes when you start out as a variety streamer, the problem is not all gamers are happy watching multiple games, right? I mean, if you become a variety streamer, the most important thing that you need to understand is that most fans who follow variety streamers don't follow the games, they follow the person. So if you're not
Mm.
the person who is as established yet, you need to start creating a community around you, and that won't be possible if you're jumping to multiple games. So try starting out with in the games that have communities already, like CODM, Mobile Legends. You have Dota 2, you have League of Legends, like all of these games that are established enough that have communities. And from there, you need to be able to capture a certain number of people and start from there.
You say that
Nice.
you recommend Facebook. Is that recommendation for the Philippines? Because I know a lot of Filipinos watch games on Facebook. But if just in case we have someone international listening, should they consider Twitch or YouTube, or you still recommend Facebook no matter where in the world they are?
If you're in Southeast Asia, you should use Facebook because
Southeast Asia.
that's really where the bulk of the viewership is. But if you're an international person, you could be streaming on Twitch or YouTube, I guess.
Okay.
Nice. What are the biggest earning games from all of these games that you guys play?
Professionally, I mean, competitive wise, I think it's still Dota 2. I mean, they have $40 million in prize pool. That's two
Oh my
billion
God.
pesos, right? So,
Yeah.
imagine the prize money that's there for Dota. So I think that's still the highest earning professional esport in terms of prize and salary. There are some players who are earning more than 700,000 pesos per month as a salary in that
Mm-hmm.
game. I'm not gonna name who.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, yeah, that's probably the highest paying. In terms of streaming, I think it's still Mobile Legends, at least for the Philippines. And the reason why is because it has the most viewership. If you look at Mobile Legends streamers out there in Facebook, they get viewership of 10,000 to up to 50,000 on an average. Some have exceeded 350,000 concurrent. So like there is a big community for Mobile Legends, but if there's one thing that you need to understand with gaming and gamers is that they really smell people who aren't authentic. So you need to be
Mm-hmm.
able to be authentic when you start, putting yourself out there, because if not,
Yeah.
they're gonna smell you from afar, and they won't like it, because these are the communities who were looked down upon, for multiple years, and now that it's becoming big, there is a
Then a
certain
lot of
level of,
people want to join. Yeah.
yeah, there is a certain level of
Mm.
gatekeeping that's happening in this space, but
Yeah.
that's just inevitable. I mean, I feel like that's just normal, and it's just you trying to figure out how to fit in, I guess.
Yeah. Nice. Another question I have, because I'm sure our listeners will be very interested, because I love that you said the fact that it has to be genuine and authentic. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I always think about these things now because been here in the Philippines for 15 years, and then sometimes I'm doing a certain thing on my artistry, and then I move to another one. If it gets boring and it's not authentic or genuine for me anymore, I have to restructure that. So I think it's important also for people that are looking at this and being like, oh, I can make this money, man. No, wait lang. Dapat ano para sa'yo din to. So how many hours does it take for a gamer to actually be successful? Like how long do they have to work
At
in
least
like
10,000
daily basis?
hours. I mean, that's the math, right?
10,000 hours.
Yeah, because
Wow.
that's there's one book about that, right? Like, you need to spend 10,000 hours to be
To
really good at
perfect
something.
something. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, yeah. So I think, like, in the level where gaming is at right now, I don't think it's gotten easier. I think there are more
Oh.
people who are getting into gaming. It's really in the mainstream right now. And and because of all of that development, I think 10,000 hours is just a minimum, to be honest.
Wow. Vince,
Ten
gusto mo
thousand
yan?
hours divided by 8, that's like 1,250, I think. So that is well over multiple years. I mean, divide by 8 hours a day, I mean. So that's over 1,000 days.
Yeah, because you need to be good at playing games, and then you need to be good at communicating. So if you have spent some of those 10,000 hours that have already passed, basically, if you spent that on improving your communication skills, or some of it you've spent on gaming already, then it's counted, I guess. Like, it doesn't
Yeah.
have to start at zero, right? Maybe you spent it on something that's useful in the streaming space, like hosting or
Mm-hmm.
podcasting, or maybe acting, right? Like, there are
Mm.
some actors who have gotten in the space and have become successful because they have the skill set to actually prepare themselves to this new work, I guess.
So Trike, yes, I firmly believe there are no shortcuts. Put in the hours,
Yeah.
you'll get there. But just for our listeners, do you have a few tips and tricks to maybe make it a bit easier, uh, uh, to maybe get them a few more followers early on? Do you have any tips and tricks?
Okay, so here are some of my tips. I guess if you're starting, make sure that you have a unique value proposition. There's something that unique about you versus anybody else in the market, whether you're dancing or putting like wearing a certain costume, or you're just super good at the game, whatever it is, there has to be a value proposition, right? A unique value proposition. That's one. The second is you need to have good habits. Basically, you need to stream at the same time on a certain day, because if you're not as popular yet, then how can you catch a certain show where you don't know when it's going to go out, right? So you have to
Mm.
put a certain fixed schedule for yourself, at least three times a day. You need to be able to interact and continuously communicate to the few viewers that you have, right? I mean, you
Mm-hmm.
will probably start with 2, 3, 10. Everybody started like that, right? And what's important is to be able to build a real connection with all of your initial viewers, and from there, that has to kind of like that will then bring on more viewers, because this is a very community based work in a way. So taking care of your community is the first step to really succeeding in this space. Second is build a Facebook group. I think it's very important because that is a place where you can continuously interact with your community, and a lot of successful streamers have really grown their Facebook groups outside of their pages, because you have your algorithm challenges when it comes to Facebook pages, right? But with groups, it's more of like a tight knit space. And in terms of like notifications, it always comes out when you post anything in a group, especially if they keep themselves notified, right? Like these are
Yeah.
some of the hacks, I guess, that I can suggest. Outside of that, you need to be present in other social media platforms. Like if you have Instagram, if you have TikTok, if you have YouTube, those are always a plus, because it helps you get viewership outside of Facebook, and then you get to funnel them into your streaming um page, because it's like a product, right? Like if you want to
Mhm.
market your restaurant, you need to be able to find ways to market it. But at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
even if they get to the restaurant, the problem is the food good, right?
Yeah.
So it's really making sure you need to really make sure that by the time that you're marketing your stream, you need to be ready for that already. So one other advice that I can say is that if you're not ready yet, don't market it first. Start practicing first with like 2 to 5 viewers, and then once you feel like you're already good and you're already entertaining, that's the time that you market it, because there is still I mean, first impression is still true. If you don't capture them in the first 5 or 10 seconds, then you lose them, right? And when they get to see you again, they'll be like, hey, that's the boring streamer. So you know what I mean. Like, just prepare yourself for success, and I guess that's what I can say.
How
Okay.
is the Philippines someone doing in terms of like competitive gaming? Are we like ahead? Hopefully.
In some games, yes. I believe in Mobile Legends we are, because
Mm-hmm.
we have the most stable ecosystem outside of Indonesia. I mean, I truly believe that esports, in terms of its competitive space, one of the most important factors is really the competitive environment, right? Like, if you won't be good if you're not playing against good players.
Yeah.
So being able to have good competition is in a sense a requirement for a certain country or for a certain game to be good. And I think what's good about the Philippines is we have already built ecosystems around ML. We have built ecosystems around Dota 2. We have done it for CODM as well, and that's the reason why these are the games that were successful.
Nice.
I have a question, Trek. I don't know if this is a bit controversial or not, but what are your thoughts on those that dress too sexily for gaming? Because I've heard both sides of the, where some don't mind and some actually find it very entertaining. But then there's some who say that it's trashy, it's malaswa, they're just trying to get views. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, to me, what I can say about that is, I think everybody has different unique value propositions, like what I mentioned. And if your unique value proposition is that, and you think that you're confident in putting that out and it's not against your values, then I'm not here to say no to that, of course, right? I mean, in this competitive space that is streaming, you need to be able to, utilize whatever strength you have. And if your strength is
Mm.
your beauty, then I think that's a plus. But my advice to those streamers, I guess, is that has to be just like that has to be
Balanced.
no, no, no. That is it's a very hard conversation.
I feel
I
like
guess
it's
what I can say is that has to be just one of your many reasons why they watch you. You know, it can't be just the
mm.
only reason, because if that's
Dapat
the
kasi
only
icing on
reason,
the cake, di ba?
Yeah, I
Kung
guess it
maganda
can
ka,
be the icing on the
okay lang
cake. It can
yun.
be the
Oo.
cake, but at the end of the day, there has to be something more
Okay.
than that. I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
There has to be more than cake.
Natawa
You
ako
need a
dun.
main course, not just the dessert.
Okay. Not naman sexy,
Sorry
but I
for the
want to show you
terminologies. I
guys.
got lost in the terminologies.
I want to show you guys something, but it's not sexy. It's just a TV show. I mean, one of the shows that I host. It's a game show. I'm not into gaming. I'm not there yet. I'm not like looking forward to. Yeah, I'm not yet. Kasi hindi ko siya naiintindihan. That's why I have so many questions because I know it's a huge industry and I'm so fascinated by how successful it became. But of course, it's not really my cup of tea right now. But I have to show you something. I think this is from Mobile Legends, right?
Oh wow!
I host a show where sometimes I cosplay and then I look for the ones. So I go really for the things that like maganda sa mata ko. Ay, gusto ko yan. Yung ganon. So wala pa
Hmm.
ako doon sa mga super pro, no. Alam mo yung ganon, yung ano nyo, na sobrang galing nyo talagang tiyaga nyo. But siguro dahil I do so many other things, no, hindi ko pa siya naisip. But now, I have a little question lang na medyo off lang to minsan. I'm not
Go ahead.
sure.
Yeah,
This
go.
this like gaming, yeah, the games that you guys are actually doing now and being very successful with, do they actually incorporate also cryptocurrencies?
Um, not the ones that are popular yet. But actually,
Not
in Philippines,
yet.
for instance, because basically, if you look at the gaming business models, right, it started with game boxes where they were just selling game A and then game B and then game C, right, and then it went into the free to play model. So the free to
Mm-hmm.
play model is basically you can play the games for free, but the publishers or the game developers earn from the microtransactions that were happening in the game. It's probably like a new skin or a new hair or a new whatever, but
Mm.
that's where they kind of like earn. And now we're entering into a new business model that's really developing right now, which is the play to earn model. So I'm not sure if you've heard about the
Ah,
Axie
yeah.
Infinity and all of these
Yep.
P2E games, but basically it's like you can you can play a game and then earn Ethereum or earn a certain
Yeah.
coin that you can trade to a certain crypto chain.
Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, I'm very much into that now. So that's why I asked. And
Are
also
you
like
what really you're
like
into
I'm just
cryptocurrency?
yeah, I'm into cryptocurrency. I have a show also about cryptocurrency what I host. And then someone really close to my heart, well, my boyfriend who's in America, so into metaverse. So he's convincing me to go buy the land with him, together with him, make our characters and avatars and stuff. And he's like, I'm getting into it just because of it. But it's very different, of course, from the gaming industry right now. It's not even like comparable, but oh my
But it's
god, I'm
coming. But it's
fascinated.
coming.
It's
I'm
coming,
not
and
sure
I'm
if you heard about Sandbox or if you heard about like all of these crypto games that are coming in. I think they really are the future of gaming, to be honest.
yeah,
Like being able to earn while playing, that's the
yes,
real I think that's the real business model for it. Because if you look into streaming right now, it still is in the entertainment realm where you need
uh-huh,
to kind of like utilize the game in order for it to become entertaining to people. However,
mm-hmm.
when we're talking about metaverses and play to earn games, it's not about entertainment anymore. It's about grinding, right? It's about
Yeah,
playing a certain game, farming, and then that labor is then turned into money, into crypto.
mm-hmm.
And I think that's a development that's really going to be exciting for the next years to come. And
So excited for it.
just to put it out there, we're entering into crypto next year.
Okay, there
Nice,
you go.
yay! I love that.
So speaking of crypto and money, Trike, this is the main part of the show where we ask you to show me the money. We're curious, like for our listeners, it's very important. Like if they want to get into this, like we kind of want to know how much can someone actually earn in this. Like,
Um,
yeah, go ahead, please
I
share some
can't
numbers.
say I can't say an exact figure, I
Uh
guess,
huh.
but what I can say is Alodia was able to buy a lot in Punta Fuego. Kong TV has a has a navigator.
I guess if I can ask as a new streamer instead, of
Hmm.
course the top of the top they'll buy mansions and cars and whatever. In the industry, if you're the top, you'll get there. I mean you'll get all these cool things. But as a regular someone who's just starting, I mean, what are the rough numbers and how can they earn? Do they only earn? Is there a salary? Do they earn ads? And I mean, is it direct ad or are there Facebook? Are there like YouTube banners?
So you
Um,
can earn from stars, you can earn from subscription fees, you can earn from sponsorships and advertising. And I guess a person that's starting out won't probably get all those initially. But if you get into the following of, around 500,000 to a million, that's when you get to start earning from 50 to, I don't know, to hundreds
I
of
remember.
thousands.
I remember you mentioned someone earns, but you're not gonna say the name. 750,000. So
Yeah, but that's a pro player though. That's a pro
that's
player.
high now, right? Okay.
That's a pro player though. That's the competitive side.
Oh, okay. I see. I
For the
see. I see.
streaming, it's pretty good. Like one of our streamers who is in the industry for almost who is in tier one for almost 2 years, I believe 2 years, 3 years. She's just 20. She has a BRZ,
what's a BRT? Sorry.
a Subaru BRZ.
Oh, okay, okay. So I guess let me for these new, let's say I'm a new streamer, I got the 500,000 following roughly. Will
Mm.
I get? Is it? How do I earn? Would it be a salary or is it more? Is it still sort of freelance where it depends on the sponsors that may come in every
Actually,
month?
Actually, I think that's where Tier 1 really comes in because we have found a way to institutionalize and really make your career more efficient, right? Because if you are a content creator, then content creation is full time, right? Like being able to
Right.
think of content, like putting, like streaming, playing games, all of those are a full time job. And on top of all that, to be able to put like a merch for your brand, to be able to work on your commercial activities such as sponsorships and advertising, to be able to handle your streaming platforms and all of these other revenue streams that you have, your royalties, right? For instance, like all of these things, Tier 1 manages for the top talents, basically. And once we unlock that, that's when the money comes in, right? So from sponsorships and advertising, you get deals with brands. From streaming platforms, you get your subscription fees and stars. From your YouTube channels, you get your ad rev, or a share of Google ads, basically. And yeah, I think those are the main revenue streams, basically.
Nice.
Okay. There you go. Well, we're running out of time. We're way past our 40 minutes. Well, we're at
You're so
42.
interesting. I'm so
Yeah, we have so
interested
many
in
more
everything you
questions,
have to
but
say. Yeah.
yeah, I think Diana has to give her key points right now and her
Yeah.
last question.
I'm like, I think I have so many key points. So, Trike, every time we have a podcast, I don't know, like I'm a podcast rat. I would say I watch, the nerdiest podcast you can imagine. Like I study neuroscience. It's crazy. It's not like the normal thing that you will see, like, oh, the sexy girl on the Instagram thing. So I take notes of everything that you guys come here and, bless us with information. So basically your summary, it's kind of like challenging to me to make because all of the things that you talked about are amazing and they're interesting and they're all, yeah, like people can just like rewind it all and they can hear everything that you had to say. So for everyone, kung nakakatutok lang po kayo ngayon dito sa aming podcast ang Young Money, we're speaking with Tryke Gutierrez, and of course he's the co-founder and CEO of Tier 1 Entertainment. And well, his company is huge now. And if you guys are interested in become a talent streamer or anything, I think he is, and their company is the best for you guys to start. Again, there's a lot that you have to do. It's Southeast Asia known. He actually transitioned to this from 2010 to 2011, and then now 2016. They're like actually having events up to like 18,000 people in MOA. Am I right? That's amazing, guys. You guys can actually really have a career now in this new normal and all of this. And thank you so much for being here. But I would like to ask you, what is your last and final tip for someone who's really, really inspired to be like they would love to be one of your streamers or even do the same thing that you're doing for others?
Find a way to be good at something first. Because sometimes the hard part is you don't know where to start. And my suggestion
Mm-hmm.
is just to start and then eventually develop a skill that no one else has, right? Because that is what will separate you from the rest of the competition in a way.
Nice.
So there you go. Last piece of advice from the CEO of Tier One. Well, with that, I guess just let us know now, how can people find you, or Tier One? Like, can you give us some of your socials in case they want to connect with you and follow you and see what new things are happening?
Yep. So for me, just subscribe to my YouTube channel, Tryke Space Gutierrez. I also do podcasts in Spotify with Team Payaman. It's called Payaman Insider, and we also have another one called Weekly GG, which is mostly about esports and gaming. And you can follow Tier One Entertainment on our Facebook page, Tier One Entertainment, and follow our team, Blacklist International. We're competing for the World Championship um, this next week.
Wow.
Next
Good
week,
Awesome.
actually.
luck. Nice, nice. I found it here.
Yeah, yeah,
Everyone
yeah.
watching, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'll
Well,
subscribe to you.
there
Amazing.
you go. Trey, I know you are super busy. Thank you so much for spending time with us this morning. Really appreciate it. Thank you for all the advice, because I know that we have so many want to be gamers out there who don't know how to get into the industry because it's so competitive. So I'm sure your advice will be very, very timely and useful for them. Thank you again so much.
Yep,
Thank you,
yep.
Trey. Thank you. Appreciate
So
it.
Thank
that
you.
so that's it for the Young Money Podcast. My name is Vince from wheninmanila.com,
And my name is Diana Menezes.
together
Thank you
with
for
Tryke
watching
Gutierrez.
us.
Yep, of Tier One
Yes.
Entertainment. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.